back, everybody, to episode 125.
Wow, 125. That's a great number.
That's a great number. I'm glad
Great
you said
number.
that.
It
Wait,
really
what's 125? You know what? I always
This just
associate
rolls well, I don't really know what I'm associated with, but
I always associate it with 125th in Harlem. So
New York
That's
niggas.
it just is what it is at this point. Nonetheless, I am here. Of course, I am Meelz. I'm alongside JG Akotu. Jeff,
Still,
what's good, bro?
What's going on, man?
How's everything going?
Everything is good, bro. Everything is good.
We are not here alone.
We are not.
We're here, and I have to introduce someone that we're very, very happy that we brought on to the Lookout family at this point, because
Oh man,
it is an
making
incredible
almost.
honor. Yeah, it's an incredible honor for just to have your knowledge, your expertise, your brain, your thing. So we have one half of Subs Lie Dubs Lie, which you can now listen to on the Lookout Network. We have
That's right.
Versace Vegeta, Jay himself. What is good, bro?
Yes, sir. Just flew into Kame House. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Really
What'd you
excited
fly
to
in
be-
on?
Easy flight.
What'd you fly in on? Let me.
Yeah, you know what I'm
Was it
saying?
Nimbus?
Yeah, so no, Balmain Boma, you know what I'm saying? She hooked me up with a capsule plane, bro. So, you know what I mean? I flew on in.
It's only right, you got to get one for sure.
Yeah.
Yo, you think she gave like Yamcha one for like the low?
No.
Like,
Oh, no. Because even in what was it? Tree of Might, bro. Yamcha talks about he put a 15-year loan on the damn plane just for it to get smashed up by Turles' gang. bro.
Oh, that
And
is
then Boma
crazy.
was like, "You got that just to get the hose or what?" Like,
Damn,
she was mad as
bro.
hell.
All that money, man. She ain't trying to give nothing up.
I'm glad you brought that up, because you've been going through Dragon Ball movies this summer, and you and D have been killing it
Absolutely.
with all the expertise and everything that I've been learning from this, this podcast.
Yeah, I thought we were hot when we did it. Like, when we were talking about Dragon Ball early on, but man, we really needed y'all.
Bro, I'm really glad to be able to bring all this because it's a lot of information, especially
is.
in those Japanese guidebooks, and we just never have gotten those over in the States.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to uncover all that and really just give some real good inside info on what can make some of those bad movies at least have a bit more context.
Right.
Yeah, it's been real fun going through with those, especially watching them all over again. God, like there's stuff you just forget over the years because you only remember the hot moments.
I'm keeping it real. So all this stuff has been a great revisit, and of course, I'm in New York, so you hear the sirens in the
Man, it
background.
never
Yeah.
fails.
It just is. Yeah, it just is what it is.
Jeez.
You probably also hear construction in the background. I don't know what it is since we've been starting this podcast. Probably since 2009, they've been doing construction across the street. And I'm like, yo, it's 2022. What are we
Finish
doing?
it up, man.
But nonetheless, man, Dragon Ball movies, they're an exciting adventure to go back through. And you kind of like these snapshots and these experiences and a lot of the actual like art too that isn't I'm assuming the same people who do the art for the show usually aren't the same people who do it for the movies.
Yeah, it's usually a very specific team that works on the movies. And if you compare it to the show, it's always that team that does the really thick line designs.
Right.
The ones that have done some of the more iconic episodes, like when Trunks fought Frieza and stuff like that. That's the movie team.
And y'all are the movie team, and we're looking forward to, as we're building up to Dragon Ball Superhero, the release in North America. If you have done a great job at dodging spoilers, great for you.
You had to do an amazing job if you're trying to dodge them. But if you've dodged them, really salute.
Toei made it even harder this week.
Yeah, they releasing commercials and pretty much with everything for the movie. So we're saying this to let you guys know it's flagrant out here at these streets. You guys need to be more vigilant. You might need to mute a couple more terms.
Yeah, do not Twitter search Gohan at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, just don't do it. Yeah.
Nonetheless, I'm glad that we're here today.
Oh,
because
man,
we're
so
here to
happy.
talk about an iconic series. And actually, this year marks the 30th anniversary of the series, which is why I definitely wanted to do this, because Yu Yu Hakusho is such I guess it's one of the, when you think of the early influx of anime, especially of the Toonami era on Cartoon Network, this is definitely one of the more prominent ones. I personally didn't watch it during that period. I don't know why. I just was really into the 4 o'clock hour. Like, give me Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z, and I'm probably doing homework after that. But it was definitely part of the initial era. So Yu Yu Hakusho that we're here to talk about, and I'm excited to talk about this because I have so many questions. And Jeff, this is your guy Togashi.
Yeah, this is my guy. It's crazy what you said, because rewatching the first season again, I kind of get the same. I have the same feeling as far as like not watching it, like trying to figure out why I didn't watch it back then, and I think it just wasn't like appealing to me at my age at that point. Like I think Dragon Ball was so easy to grab onto because it was just like, I mean, it was fighting and it was just different. You know, that first season, which we're about to talk about, it takes a minute to figure out what's actually going on. I mean, you know, for any kid, we're not about to sit through that. It's like watching Gundam Wing at that age too. It's difficult to just like comprehend, I guess.
I feel that.
But yeah, Togashi is my guy, and he is back working on some stuff now, but this is definitely a legendary series from the manga perspective and the anime. But yeah, I mean, obviously, he has his ways. Let's just say that.
Jay, what is your first experiences with the show?
Yo, it's a little bit different. I can definitely say I was watching back when it was on Midnight Run, man.
Look at this guy.
No, for real, dude. When they first started showing the Toguro fights with Yusuke, I was like, "Oh, we got something here. This is different." And then they started leading.
So you came in where the action was
exactly.
Yeah,
there we go. That makes sense though.
Yeah, exactly. I caught on from that point, and then it goes right into the Dark Tournament. So I was like, "Oh no, this is my shit."
Yeah, it had already got riled up at that point.
I can't even lie. For a little while there, I might have been a bigger Yu Yu Hakusho fan than I was a Dragon Ball fan. I know that's a lot.
That's fire. That's fire, though.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Man. Like Yu Yu Hakusho, I get he has a great way of developing main characters.
Yeah,
I will say that. Like he got them down. I think the structure of the show, especially with the kind of like the quartet of, you know, Yusuke, Kuwabara, Kurama, Hiei, I think, and especially the differences between all of them, I think he got that down pat.
Absolutely. He can do that all day.
And yeah, and you look at Hunter x Hunter as well, and you look at the quartet that they have there as well.
Yeah, very similar.
Very similar, but also all very unique, and you love them all. You don't love one. I mean, you have your favorites, but you don't really love one more than the other.
There's no reason to rank.
Yeah. Because you love them all for different reasons.
Absolutely.
My thing is, his secondary characters and stuff like that. What is everybody doing in this show? The villains and all this other shit like that. I'm very glad to get into the Spirit Detective Saga because it is the jumping off point. It is a point where I have so many questions on where we're going and what we're doing with this entire show. But first, you can't kick things off about Yu Yu Hakusho without kicking off with one of the most iconic opening themes ever existed in music.
Yeah, no, seriously. Yeah, seriously. I think
that opening never gets skipped.
It carries outside of like anime. You know, I think we know where it comes from, but there's people that can like pinpoint that shit regardless.
That's true. That's true.
Has a home.
I know. Back in like 03, I used to have that song burned on a CD, and I would play it in the ride with my mom and my sister, and they would be jamming, like not even knowing what it was, because it just sounds good.
It's just good. It feels good. Like there's very rarely there's these like, and I equate this to like even just this is like beyond just anime stuff. Like you listen to like Earth, Wind, and Fire, right? Like shit, and the feeling those songs give to you is like what this song gives to you when you initially hear it. It's timeless. Listen, I want to go through the lyrics real bit.
I want to go through this. I love that.
I want to go through this a little bit.
It's definitely like a LimeWire top 10 hit right here, man.
That's true. That's very true.
You dig?
Listen, it says, running in a crowd, in a faceless town, I need to touch the feel of a friend.
Wow. Dun, 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 dun,
dun. In the countryside, I wander far and wide. The isolation gets me again.
Dun, 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 dun.
Come on, man.
I don't know where to go. I don't know where to go.
Come on, Frank Ocean, who?
When I feel like crying, oh my. It's time to open myself, do something new. I want to stop and grow up a bit.
Wow, we can all relate.
Now here's the part that always gets me. Then suddenly, oh man. Then suddenly is that's the part to me that like takes the song to like a song. You know what I'm saying?
You're telling a story, man.
It suddenly like I can't explain what the then suddenly does, but then suddenly my power and my confidence start swelling up, magically erupt, and it's all because of the kindness that I feel from people I don't even know.
Wow.
If this doesn't explain this podcast, I don't know what it is. Then suddenly, see, does it a fucking again?
And suddenly,
my intuition and my wisdom grow. And then I know, the most of all I sense, compassion's real, thanks to strangers wherever I go. Thank you for waking me up.
Wow. Damn.
Listen.
Hey, that's deep shit, man.
This is powerful. This is the power of friendship right here.
Yeah.
It is.
You really can't talk about this series without talking about that song.
The way this song makes people feel, the way this is a constant staple in anime karaoke and like just in anywhere where you're playing anime. I have a friend who plays anime dance music. He plays for a lot of parties as well, and I know that you can't not. This is like the dreams and nightmares. This is
That's true.
You can't. Yeah, you can't let it you can't cut it off anywhere during this point because it's such an iconic theme song and it's such an iconic feeling that it presents. Yu Yu Hakusho, if nothing else, this has a fantastic, amazing fucking theme song. Now let's get into
the music in general.
No, it's a rare example where the English version of an anime track is just as good as the Japanese version.
Good point. Good point.
Listen, we're here to talk about the Spirit Detective Saga. Let's start things off. We were introduced. You know what? I always say this because I always get caught up. I'm about to end up going. Usually, I stop myself because I don't like to go like sequentially during this entire thing. I like to break down the thing as kind of like a whole and kind of respect it on that kind of aspect. But I wanted to start with this question because from the first episode, especially, there has never been a protagonist that has been so widely hated within by teachers, bullies, girls, guys, moms, everybody. I'm asking you this question: could you ever see yourself? I mean, by the end of the series, it might change. Actually, by the end of the series, it might not change. Could you be friends with Yusuke Urameshi? Would you ever be Yusuke Urameshi's friend in real life?
I mean, he's not my type of nigga, you know. But I mean, even at the end of the series, which I know that's not what we're talking about, like he still carries that same stigma to a degree. So I don't think I'll be really cool with him. I think I'll probably think, you know, might give him a little, what's up, bro? You know, give him one of those. But nah, friends, I don't know, bro.
Yeah. If I had seen him in the hallway at school, I probably would have dapped him up and been like, "That nigga is on."
Yeah, he wild. Yeah.
Yeah, Yusuke, how come you never in school, bro? Like, how come teachers always cussing you out and you cussing them back out? Like, he's beating up everybody. He hits like Kurobaru with this insane fucking, not even a juji, like an arm bar in the middle of an ass kicking.
Yeah.
I'm just like, yo, he really.
Yeah, bro wants hands at all times, but he wants fades at all time. Yeah.
At all time.
The first episode is, to me, like, they set you up for like a whirlwind, and then literally the next 3-4 episodes, you would think that it's a romantic comedy.
All right, so let's talk about this first arc. Let's get this first arc out of the way because the first arc to me doesn't run the same temperature as the rest of the arcs.
It doesn't. Just fine.
The first arc of the show, what are your guys' kind of general thoughts watching this? Because to me, the concept of this show it's a very weird concept because it's how it starts, but how it starts doesn't really follow up with the rest of it. Mm-hmm. So he dies,
Right.
and that could be the premise of the show on its own. He's dead.
Yeah.
And he's an angel or a spirit detective trying to get back to his family in his own world. That could be the premise of a show itself. That could be a premise for 120 something episodes, maybe.
So true.
Trying to get back to life. They summed this up in 5 episodes, which makes me think like, yo, is Togashi like high when he writes this? Like,
he might have been. It's possible.
So the premise is, especially in this first arc, is that he dies in the first episode. Crazy. Only a lot of people die.
Only shonen.
So, listen.
Yeah.
But he's brought to the spirit. I mean, he's by the Grim Reaper. We introduced the Botan, which is a very, it's like Grim Reaper, but also she's wearing pink and she's got blue hair. It's very upsetting.
Yeah, we love Botan.
And it was like, yo, you actually weren't supposed to die. Like, we have no room for you in the spirit world and the evil world. Like, we got no room for you. So what we're going to give you is the opportunity to get your life back by completing these good deeds. And that could be the premise of a show, right? Like,
it could be an entire premise,
by itself.
It could be, for sure. Like 3 seasons worth, yeah.
Nah, 5 episodes max. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Togashi said, look, we just need a way to turn this shit up for a second, and then we're going to get to the real shit.
But here's the thing. It's like, I'm trying to get from the point where he does all this to becoming a spirit detective. Mm-hmm. It's really blackmail, kind of, in a sense.
Yeah.
Like, you do this for us, we'll look out for you. We gave you your life back, but also we found out that like you have this insane amount of spirit energy as well, and we'd like to use that for you to become this spirit detective because we've given you your life back in a sense. And they go through this entire thing of like, Keiko. We're introduced to Keiko, who's a love interest to the nth degree.
Mm-hmm.
With everything kind of Keiko related running around Yusuke, which is something I don't think they would probably do in today's anime.
No, that's over. That time is over. Yeah.
Yeah, she would be a fighter right alongside them nowadays.
She'd be just as strong as him.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, how did Keiko get spirit energy? She uses the spirit whip or something along those lines. You know what I'm saying?
You are, straight up.
She is the love interest to the nth degree in terms of like everything related to her surrounds around Yusuke in every instance of the word. Damn, Yusuke's dead, but I can't stop talking about Yusuke. I'm going to school and bullies asking me like, "What about your boyfriend Yusuke?
Yeah.
He's dead, isn't he?"
Hey, bro. She put her life on the line, man.
Seriously, even the teachers, they're like, "Yeah, well, your boy dead. What you gonna do about that?"
Yeah, bro.
Can nobody talk to her about just herself?
Yeah, but they really don't fuck with him. That tells you that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the teachers are terrible in this fucking
awful teachers.
The worst.
Awful. What are we paying for?
Yeah, I was like, not even like a good teaching the group. Like, not all of them just, they got beef. Yusuke must have put the air out the wheels or something along those lines, because it's like, I'm like, yo, this is ridiculous.
The teachers were actively more evil than some of the demons are.
At least the demons have like a real motive to be hating.
Yeah.
Nah, teachers are just hating. This is hated. Togashi must have hated teachers. Must have hated any adult figures in life. So essentially, they go through all these various things. There's so much that happens in this first episode.
There is.
There's an arsonist that his body is dead, but then they get like, they find out through the grapevine like, yo, there's a possibility that he come back. Make sure you preserve his body. It was like, make sure you preserve his body, and then like right at that instance just happens to be an arsonist that comes through and tries to burn down things, and then Keiko has to save the body and stuff like that, and he can only be revived with a kiss.
Yeah.
And Kurobara, we find out that he has spirit energy. Kurobara is like the chum. How do you feel about Kurobara?
At this point, he's annoying,
Yeah.
But that is, to me, like I look at like Liario from Hunter x Hunter, and I'm like, okay, yeah, you gotta have somebody who just kind of, you think it's cool look, but maybe some nice dialogue, but still just annoys you. You gotta have it.
One of those type of things. Yo, that's Chris Sabat, I'm assuming. Yes.
I think so.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's
I think so.
definitely Chris
Yeah,
Evans.
yeah,
It's
100%.
definitely Chris
Making
Evans.
sure. The man's a legend. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah,
It's like a mix
100%.
between his Piccolo voice and his Yamcha voice.
Literally.
man, I was like, yo, this is kind of insane. Like the amount of voices that he's done during this entire run.
Yeah.
And especially, I mean, it's this point of his career, I'm assuming they're doing the dub of Dragon Ball Z, and they're doing the dub of Yu Yu Hakusho,
Mhm.
and he's doing the dub of One Piece, and he's doing the dub of like so many other things. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
too
man,
high.
I'm looking. You looked at the credits, you see, the assistant ADR directors, Christopher Sabat and Mike McFarlane, and I'm just like, bro, come on, man. These people have been doing this for so
So
long,
long,
this
bro.
thing, and there's these voices that you hear when you hear Hiei's voice. It took me a while to register Android 17.
Yeah, yeah.
But same thing with
Same thing.
with fucking Genkai. Took me a while to register Frieza.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay,
Like,
so let me see if you caught this one. Did you know that Yusuke's Super Boo?
no.
Go back and watch the Majin Buu saga.
I definitely didn't know that.
It, especially when he absorbs Gohan, some of his yelling is exactly like Yusuke's.
Oh,
Like that's
really?
the only way I put that together.
Huh.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm interested who else is on this damn cast, because this is during the era where like there's like, I'm not saying there's only 6, but
The circle was small.
the
Oh
circle
yeah,
was
especially in Funimation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So they were using everybody for everything. So I'm actually interested in who were the other dub characters throughout
I
this
know
entire
Taguro Cell.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
I didn't even see.
That's
Come on.
crazy. But yeah, I mean, that tells you how small the circle was at that point.
The whole Dragon Ball cast is on this fucking show.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how you tell.
Basically.
They
Yeah.
did a great job, though.
Except maybe Sean Chamel. Is Sean Chamel on this show?
He may have played a small role as one of the demons, but not a major one.
He's like,
I'm
nah,
not
I'm-
looking into this right now.
I'm Goku. I'm Goku'd up right now. I got Goku bread right now.
Yeah, exactly. I know
but-
Keiko is Dende
Damn.
and Little Trunks.
Oh my
Listen.
god.
Come on now. It all
That's
comes
what's up.
together. Oh, anyway, that first arc out of the way, Yusuke comes back to life, becomes a spirit detective, and then the show actually starts.
That's when that episode like 5, 6 realm is like, okay, we're picking up. Here we go. That's what
We're
this
picking
shit's
up.
about.
And he's sent on missions. And the first bit of missions that we see, we're introduced to the characters. I mean, he has to recover 3 spirit items, and we're introduced to who's the first guy? The guy that dies who never gets to be. Like there was 3 of them. There was is it Gokai?
Goki.
Goki.
Goki, Hiei, and Kurama. And G had to he ain't get no sexy hair. He ain't get no cool, quip or anything like that. He just dies out of the 3, man. And
he looked like the loser out of the 3. You know what I'm
He
saying?
did.
Like
It was meant
they
to
drew
be.
him with a basic demon look, 3 horns, some fang teeth. That's it. Like,
can we talk about the demon, the villains that he creates? I'm not saying, I'm like, to me, I'm looking at it like the demons, or I wouldn't even demons. Let's look at the villains in like Dragon Ball, and this is a very poor comparison to make. But the villains in Dragon Ball, very clear, distinctive. You see who they are. You remember who they are.
yeah.
These are like, if those are like Pokemon, these are like Digimon to me.
Okay.
Like these are very like interesting designs and kind of how they take this. And to me, rewatching this series, like just rewatching this series in general, and I'm glad that I watched Hunter x Hunter first. Not to say that this is bad or it's anything of the
Right,
but I'm glad I
right.
watched Hunter x Hunter first, because I get the context now for a lot of that show from this show.
That
And
makes
not
sense.
necessarily through the villains, but through the characters and the he's so tight knit with these core 4.
Mhm.
And like everybody else, I mean, they're introduced to the show, but they don't really have a lasting effect on it. I
You
feel
could
like
explain most of the other characters in a single sentence.
yes,
Basically.
absolutely, and that's how I feel like you can do with Hunter x Hunter as well. I feel like a lot of the other characters, and even similar to I think one of the most random characters that I like in Yu Yu is Kuwabara's sister. I was just like, what is she even here for? But she's
Yeah.
cool because she smokes. But like, what is she even here for? But she's involved a lot, and I was like, this is very, very interesting. Kind of like the what he does with all these kind of side characters. But we get introduced to the second arc. He has to recover these 3 items. We get the battles with well, let's talk about Hiei and Kurama because we don't really got to talk about Gokai,
We got
Gaikai, or
to.
whatever his name is. What is it? Jeff?
EA. That nigga, that's a cold nigga right there, boy.
He's your guy.
Yeah, that's really my guy. And
I
honestly,
would have picked Kurama, Kurama for you, to be honest.
I mean, Kurama's, you know what I'm saying? They got all the swag. I like him, but he just he reminds me of a Hunter x Hunter character too, actually, in a lot of ways. But no, I like the dialogue. I like the asshole in him.
Just staticky for the sake of being static.
Yeah, like you want to like, you don't want to like him, but it just works. And I think it is one of those characters that obviously it's one of the first people you think about when you think about the series as well, which is like important. But yeah, I mean, he's awesome. And that episode is fire too. The 3 eyes.
Right. Mm-hmm. Jay, what did you think about Kurama and Hiei when they were first introduced to the show?
Oh,
and
man.
Kind of like lasting effect if they had too.
Right there with Jeff. Hiei was my guy. I can remember in 2005, I'm seeing this new anime that's coming out of Japan. It's got these ninja kids in it. And there's this kid with black hair that shoots out fire. And I was like, that's a Hiei copy. And his name is Sasuke. You know what I'm saying? Like I was literally just like, whoa, hang on. I know what I'm looking at here. So yeah, Hiei definitely had a lasting effect on me. Kurama.
Ooh, do you think Hiei really the you think he's truly the precursor for Sasuke and everything that happened with that?
I would say he's a huge influence on characters like that. You know what I mean? Just like the broody sort of like side character. Well, a lot of people would say it's Vegeta, but Vegeta wasn't introduced to be that, right? They just kind of said, oh, in Dragon Ball, villains become friends. That's just how that works.
Right.
Whereas in Yu Yu Hakusho, you could tell when Hiei and Kurama were introduced, like they're going to be a part of this core unit. And just that entire weight that he brings to the team where it's like everybody knows they should not fuck with him, but he's still cool with them. You know what I mean? Like I always like that about his character. I also love Kurama's character for being this elegant yet like dangerous core of their team, right? Because there's so much mystery behind him. Mm-hmm. You don't know how he's gonna fuck shit up. In every
he feels like cool, calm, collected compared to the rest of the actual group. Like the rest of the group is like ready to jump into action in a little bit, but he's kind of like a little bit more reserved. And I think
you can tell his motives are right. You could tell his motives are a little bit more meaningful.
That's right. And whenever he gets into a battle, it's one of those things where you have your eye on him. Like, what's he gonna do this time? Because every single fight he's in, it's always something new to his character. It's always something added to his repertoire, and he's also the dopest shonen character ever that's never thrown a fist.
Hey, bro, that's a real statement, man.
You go back and watch all 112 episodes. That man never throws a single fist.
No need.
Exactly.
He's OP.
I mean, I would have loved to talk about the Dark Tournament and kind of what he gets into.
Next summer, we got to.
Dark Tournament is some
and what he gets into with that. But
because when I got to episode 26, I was ready to keep watching. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh yeah. No, I was the same way, right? Like I think we hit this momentum point, especially when they introduced it to Guru Brothers, and I was just like, I'm about to continue playing. And then I was like, nah, I gotta stop because like I'm the kid who would read ahead, in school. And then fuck up when it came to
we'll be talking about it right now, like
and I would be like confusing parts of like things that happened in the future, and like you read ahead, didn't you? And I was like, yeah, a little bit. It's like motherfucker, you wasn't supposed to, but so I have to like pause myself. But I'm may return to it at some point. I think No, especially once you get into the mix of like kind of how everything is going on, it's like okay, especially during this part, right? And then we go into the next arc a little bit with Genkai's tournament. Always got to have a
Always
tournament. This
tournament kings right here. This show.
Yeah.
and this arc reminded me so much of I mean, there's Hunter x Hunter in it for
The
sure.
Hunter exam.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Hunter exam for sure.
Yeah.
And I think the Hunter exam is a much more expanded version of this.
Oh, for sure.
So many different ways.
Definitely.
And I think it tops this to me, in my opinion.
It does. It does.
Because it introduces so much. I think it's because so many other characters mean things in that Hunter tournament compared to this one, where it's only kind of like maybe 3. But I'm not even including fake Chaozu. But
oh my god.
Genkai's tournament, it also reminds me of the other world tournament in Dragon Ball. The one after the one with
with
PyCon?
PyCon, yeah.
No. Not that one. In Dragon Ball. Sorry.
Dragon Ball.
Oh, you mean the one
with fortune teller Baba.
Yeah, Baba's island where Goku winds up meeting Gohan.
Yeah. It reminded me of that a little bit too. And just kind of like the way it's structured. So it gave me that kind of like feeling as well. However, I like this. There's, an alternate theme. He's sent on a mission. He's like, yo, there's this demon here. You don't want to get the spirit wave in the wrong hands. Genkai is like, yo, whoever wins. I don't really got no moral compass or anything like that, to be honest with you.
Just a tournament.
Yeah, it's just a tournament. If the person wins, tough luck for the rest of you guys. I'm retiring. What are your thoughts on Genkai? Very stark difference from a lot of other teachers, I would say, that's incorporated throughout the show. First, I mean, she's old like the rest of them, but most of them are males, to be honest with you.
And that's why I like Genkai.
Yeah, that's what makes it work, actually.
Yeah, because she takes no shit from anybody, is always ready to remind somebody, like, listen, I don't have to go along with any of the shit that y'all are on right now. I just choose to do so because, to me, it kind of feels like the right thing to do, Genkai is also presented in such a way to where there's you find out that, okay, she's this older psychic and she's got these powers, but you don't get any backstory of her in that exact moment, right? We'll have to talk about that another time.
And to be honest with you, when I got the backstory, I was like, oh my god.
Hey man, let me say this real quick, man. Young Genkai, she a dime. Listen. I had to get that off, man.
Yeah,
relax.
Had to get that off real quick, man.
She was gorgeous, man. I feel you.
No, but I mean, even and those are the moments that I kind of like. Those are the moments I kind of wish were like presented a lot more throughout the show, and it is towards the end. But I think by the end, in my opinion, the show kind of like flows a little bit so off the rails that it doesn't truly get back on, in my opinion.
Yeah, Togashi started getting sick.
Yeah. Just like, I always felt like, I mean, I don't know the actual story of it, but I always heard it was like, all right, I have this next series that I want to start, and I just want to end this shit off real quick.
He actually felt really bad for ending Yu Yu Hakusho the way he did. It was due to those health complications, but he knew because he ended it that way that he had to do something to make up for how he ended it, and that's why we have Hunter x Hunter.
That's a beautiful story. With that said, it's this entire arc. I mean, we get to the introduction of Kurobara and his spirit energy, and we see the spirit sword now.
Spirit sword, fire,
great stuff, man.
Love it.
Very versatile. Yeah. First of all, him having spirit energy itself, and just like, yeah, he has it too. I wish there was a little bit more explanation for that, but I mean, at this point, he has spirit energy, great friend, great opposition, kind of a little foil. It's interesting how Kurobara eventually grows throughout this entire series, and he becomes a lot more of the level-headed one, especially compared to Yusuke.
Yeah.
More conscious and careful and all this other stuff like that. Whereas Yusuke kind of still continues to run headfirst into a lot of things. But we see a lot of introduced Kurobara. You can, I mean, they have those. What is it called? Those dark fights. What are the fights in the dark? It's something along those lines.
Fights in the dark,
Like,
dark fights.
I don't know, dark fights, a dark tournament to say.
The dark arena.
But they go through these entire, these processes, and it's this mission, however, that we didn't even talk about Koenma. And well, Koenma, he's the guy who deals out the missions. He's the kid.
Yeah.
He's an interesting design as well in all of this. The fact that he's a baby, or at least appears to be a baby in this
Young
instance.
pacifier.
Yeah. And the mission as it goes is pretty much like, hey, there's this guy, Rando, wild name, who is evil, a demon. We need to get rid of him. They find him out in the tournament. He goes absolutely insane, breaks Kurobara's bones and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Just regular shit. And of course, Yusuke beats him. Spirit gun, Spirit gun times 10 or whatever it is at this point. Spirit gun times 4, Kaioken, whatever. Kaioken, sorry, I forgot who was in the room.
Hey, you're good, brother.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I'll wait for
it. You're good.
That boy Rando
You're
looked like
a voice actor.
a.
I don't expect it of you.
Rando could have definitely been a fucking demon and Demon Slayer, bro.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I was thinking that the whole time. I was like, yo, if they had wrote this character now, he would have had a whole arc.
Just put the lower moon in his eye, and it's a wrap. Yeah, it's a wrap.
Yeah, it would have been he had killed a bunch of demon slayers, you know what I'm saying? Had learned their breathing style, all this shit. Oh, man, listen.
I'm telling you, bro.
They would have done a lot. And speaking of Rando, going back to the voice actor thing, that's evil Future Trunks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Listen, come on now. Everyone getting bread at this point. Or maybe they're not getting bread, but they're at least getting gigs.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, so that arc finishes. Yusuke ends up winning the tournament. He gets training by Genkai, very off-screen training. I love a good. If it's not going to be like crazy, just do it off-screen. I think me sitting through Naruto and all the training things, I was just like, all right, we didn't need to.
Hey, y'all, we made it out of that era, though.
Oh man, for real.
Training arcs are, here's 5 minutes, and then just know that they're much more powerful now.
We were talking about that with the Demon Slayer last episode in terms of like, you can kind of use the results are more so shown, and their development are most shown through pretty much the missions and how well they do at this point.
Exactly.
And especially in Demon Slayer by the virtue of them not dying.
Right.
Through this entire thing, they get the brink close, and Yusuke always gets to the close. I mean, he's always sacrificing his life to an instance. We talk about even the next arc with the Beasts of the Maze Castle, the 4 Beasts of the Maze Castle.
Oh man, what a great arc!
I love
highlight.
Yeah.
Any favorite parts? Any favorite moments of that arc?
Hiei versus Seiryu.
Oh man,
good God,
that was it, bro.
Yeah, that made the whole thing.
We almost did that. First season of Showdown, but we ended up just covering. We had to go to Dark Tournament. But man, that was it right there.
Yeah,
a great showing, especially now that these guys are on the good side. They've been reformed villains. I was like, oh, that was quick. Like, you know what I'm saying? But amazing kind of back and forth, and just kind of like you see the battles, you see the development, you see the training and stuff like that. Kurobara was like, you're not the only one that's been training Yusuke, like all this other shit like that. And he's got some tricks with his spirit sword.
Yeah, real Vegeta shit right there.
Yeah, it's
let me show you.
But yeah, Hiei is truly the star of this arc in his battle, and you kind of see how kind of frightening he is in an instance, and trying to also keep up with Yusuke itself. Yusuke goes into the final battle with
Suzaku.
There you go, Suzaku. So many names, so many people.
Sorry, I got you.
So many interesting designs.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, on Earth, everyone's getting turned into villains. There are bugs going into people's ears, and they turn into villains. The premise of this entire arc was that the villains did no longer want it to be. Was it all right? Let me run back to present of this arc. Damn, I didn't write it down. But the demons didn't want to be kicked out of the spirit world.
Mm-hmm.
So they caused havoc in the real world because they were like, yo, we don't want to get kicked out because they were getting kicked out. It was like it was this drama between, the spirit, the demons and the thing, and now they're inhabiting the human world, and now everyone is becoming essentially human in this aspect. And no, everyone is becoming a demon in this
Demon.
aspect. And Keiko and Botan are having a tough time going against all these demons who are like teachers, and it was kind of like, it was very weird. It was giving me a lot of like One Direct Priority kind of vibes, because I
Yeah.
was
Okay.
like,
I thought it was a bit jumbled.
I thought it was a little bit too like, I'm like, why y'all fight? I don't know. It just it was a little bit off to me. I was like, why are they? Why do they find so? Why I don't really like these teachers anyway, so I don't even think they needed to become demons.
Yeah, they were already
They were already
evil.
demons to us.
Like, but nonetheless, they going through that aspect. So Yusuke is trying to save that world, trying to save this world. He's going through all the entire process. He eventually defeats Suzaku, puts his life on the line to do it. As most, anime protagonists do.
Gotta do it.
Yeah,
Or
gotta.
you lose your shonen, bro.
True.
Be careful, bro. You'll get canceled out here.
You gotta put your life on the line. You gotta jump in front of a Kamehameha
bro.
wave or
We'll be
a
killing
beam
your ass.
cannon or something, to make it happen. But eventually he does, and then he gets revived when Scorobara gives a little bit of his own, spirit energy or life energy, or life and spirit. I don't know. At this point, it's the same thing. To make this happen. And you know what? They're alive and they're back kicking again, and they've got now we head into the final arc. This 5 arcs.
Yeah,
One saga.
pretty much.
25 episodes. The last one is the Yukina. It's not really the Yukina arc, but I want to say it's the Yukina arc.
Close enough, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. It is the rescue. It's called Rescue. Okay. Okay. Yusuke and Kurobara need to rescue Yukina. Yukina is Hiei's twin sister.
Yeah.
Why are they thinking it? Because her tears. Hold on. Her tears are very, very valuable. Let me actually get let me be an actual. I wrote this down, and then apparently I don't have it anymore. Hold on, give me a second. Okay. So. Interesting. Okay. It's too many different things. You get the VCR, which ends up becoming a videotapes and VCRs,
Right.
and later in this arc. They have to rescue a girl named Yukina who's being held captive by a gritty old businessman named Taru Kane, who's the ugliest guy that I've ever seen in my life.
He's grotesque.
Even uglier than some of the demons.
Yeah, real grotesque.
The true elephant man in this.
Oh my god.
Yukina has the ability to create rare pearls from her tears, and these pearls cost millions. That's why Taru Kane is forcing her to cry all the time for his business to bloom.
Bitch. Just putting her down, bro. Just
Why don't you look happy, goddammit?
I know, right? Like, come on, like, just cry, damn it.
Putting onions in front of her face and
in this arc, we meet Shizuru Kurobara, who is Kurobara's sister. I'm still confused of her place in this entire show, but I'm not mad. But I'm also like, yo, what? I don't even know if she was needed.
It feels like Togashi was like, okay, I gotta have at least one female character that's like
can actually
stands her ground on everything.
Yeah, can actually do something.
Yeah.
To me, she just like I don't have. I've only watched this series once, and I haven't watched past this a lot. To me, she's just like cool, smokes, gets out of dodge. Support character to the support is just another girl to kind of like be with the group. But she's around, and she can also see spirit stuff because apparently it runs in the Kurobara family. That's how it's explained in the dub or the show.
It's true.
So I was like, okay, all right, I guess, yeah, sure. Um, Kurobara loves Yukino. He loves her to the point it's like, yo,
Immediately.
yeah, it's like he saw a girl on Instagram and it's like, yo, I gotta have her.
double click.
Yeah.
Which is funny because he immediately went from Botan to Yukina. Like
he was ripe. He was very choosy.
yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Very choosy.
Yeah.
So they begin their mission. They head out. They got to defeat everything that's thrown in their way, and they actually do. I mean, they look incredibly impressive through this entire arc between Yusuke and Kurobara. Like they are like bodying everything. Spirit gun here, spirit sword here. Throw something on top of someone.
I feel like they hit their stride a little bit, especially coming from the last arc, which was probably the highlight for me. But you could tell they wanted to finish it off, letting us know that there was like a foundation of a lot of powerful characters. And like at that point, the group was pretty much together.
So this arc really ends up being, and as much as we love Yukina, to me, this is the preamble for the Dark Tournament arc.
Yep, exactly.
Because it introduces the Toguro brothers, and we have their first battle between Yusuke and Kurobara versus the Toguro brothers, and I mean it goes off with a fake. I mean it's like a fake victory.
Yeah.
He uses the spirit sword. Kurobara uses the spirit sword propelled by the spirit gun, which I don't know how that didn't kill him.
But, right? Like how did he just not get hit? Like it just carried him
to pierce through the body of Giant Toguro. And eventually Toguro, I mean, he lives after it. I mean, he just pops it right out after a while. But they do get to save Yukina. They do get to, Hiei does get to reunite with his twin sister, even though he doesn't tell his twin sister that they're twins.
We can just chalk that one up to the game, guys. I don't want to even discuss that.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there.
I don't know what Hiei was thinking, man.
I don't know. I cannot sit here and say that I've read this manga all the way through, but I don't remember it being any different. So
it wasn't.
Yeah. So let's just chalk that one up.
If anything, this is one of the rare cases where an anime is kind of presented better than the manga.
I actually agree. Agree. You know what? I'll be real. I think Hunter x Hunter kind of thrives in that way a little bit too. But Hunter x Hunter's a lot of reading. So
yes.
Well, they use a lot of narration in this thing too. Not as much as Hunter x Hunter, but they definitely use a lot of narration
for sure.
Throughout this as well. But that's kind of how we end the arc of like Yusuke saves Yukina. Everyone's kind of happy. Everyone's kind of chilling for the most part, and then you see on the next episode, Yusuke gets visited by a mysterious motorcycle figure, and being Toguro and Dark Tournament and stuff like that. But this first, the Spirit Detective Saga of Yu Yu Hakusho, would you say it does well in kind of like establishing everything moving forward of what we see? You see a lot of kind of first arcs, or at least first seasons of anime, and I'm looking at Jujutsu Kaisen, I'm looking at like, I guess Dragon Ball to an instance. Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And more of the things around this time, I'm thinking like, what are the animes kind of around this time?
It's a little bit too early for some of the bigger ones after, like One Piece or Rurouni Kenshin or stuff like that, right? Saint Seiya, Fist of the North Star, those are really big influences at this point in time, right? But this is also a crux of where shonen is changing. We're getting to more like hot-blooded characters as opposed to it just being like this big muscular guy who's just going to take on everything, right? But I do enjoy the way it sets up so much in the story. You have your four main characters. We don't have too many. We don't have too much in the way of what the other two's motivations are, other than the fact that they're like, "Hey, listen, we got off of the crime, so of course we'll stick with y'all," right?
Yeah.
But it even does well at introducing us to who would be the first main villain and showing us like a comparison of like, oh wait, like there's a level of strength far beyond anything we've seen so far.
Absolutely. I would say the one difference that this show kind of doesn't have compared to animes now, at least, to me, it doesn't have Yu Yu Hakusho at this point, especially where we end off here. It doesn't really have a very overarching goal
That's
No,
true.
towards
no,
the
it
end.
doesn't.
And I think that's where the hindrance come, especially towards a little bit of the last arcs, because it becomes a little bit directionless in terms of what are we actually do, like what is Yusuke's actual goal in this? Does he have a goal, or are we just doing these spirit missions? What's Koenma's actual goal towards this?
Right. Yeah,
What
there
is
is
his
no. I want to be the most powerful.
Yeah.
You
right?
know, it
Whereas
is
I think even in
very.
Hunter x Hunter, it's like I want to find my dad, and
Yeah,
you go
yeah. You
through the
still
entire
have that,
show, right?
but I don't know. I feel like the story. It's kind of like the theme. It's like these are all my friends, and I'm gonna do everything I can to protect them.
Mhm.
And that's basically what they run with the entire time. But it just works, you know. But I don't know. As far as like watching the first season back again, even though it does start off in a way where you're not really sure where it's going. I think they do a really good job developing the characters that you really just need to know about. We discussed it many times. It's just how he gets down with his with the way that he writes stories. But considering everything that happens out of the after this, maybe the first time running through it for people, they weren't necessarily like they were intrigued and they were interested enough to see what else happens next. But there's no way that they thought what they got next would be as good as it was. I just
That's
can't.
true.
At least coming off of season one, if that makes sense. Like I
That's
think
true.
season one is great and it stands well. I think it aged fairly well, I would say. But I don't think people would have imagined getting what they got in season two from watching it. But yeah, I mean, it's a classic.
I would almost say that season one does a good job of establishing the show as literally as advertised, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yu Yu Hakusho just means ghost report.
Right.
It's just a show about this guy who can deal with spirits and he's a detective. It's
Mm-hmm.
as is. You're right. In most animes nowadays, we would have a clear goal in mind for somebody, or there would be some sort of overarching, like in the background stuff that's building up. But we don't have none of that.
None of it. But you could tell he obviously I think he noticed it himself
Yeah,
when he started working with Hunter because a lot of that stuff did get cleared up, and I think some of the things that maybe was missing from Yu Yu, he made sure that he added in Hunter x Hunter in a way. And of course, he did some other stuff too, but I think it's just his style, and yeah, I mean, Yu Yu is always gonna have a special place, probably to everyone who's into anime or manga for that matter, because it is one of those Godfathers, one of the ones you can always look back on or put somebody on if if they're not into anime. It's an easy watch, I would say.
that's true. And it also does a good job at because it's so ambiguous in the beginning. There's a lot of questions that get answered 2 or 3 arcs from now that you
Yeah.
don't even think to ask yourself
Yeah, which is
because you're just
nice.
taking everything at face value.
There's a question I always ask at the end of this stuff, and then I'm gonna do something fun at the end of it. But question I ask: a reboot. Would you be here for a Yu Yu Hakusho reboot in any kind of way? Do you feel like the show, and in terms of the reboot, would you like it as more of a Hunter x Hunter 2011,
Mm-hmm.
or would any, in terms of evolving the aspects of the show and kind of making it a lot more digestible in the 2022 format of anime, would you take that as well? Would you, or would you personally not care? Are you kind of like good where Yu Yu Hakusho is in its
Mm-hmm.
place in its history? Like, what do you guys think?
I'm good where Yu Yu Hakusho is. At the same time, I do feel like a 2011 Hunter x Hunter style version of Yu Yu Hakusho would help carry on that legacy
Mm-hmm.
because Japan's really big about introducing its most famous IPs to a new generation of kids.
Yeah, they love that shit.
The cool thing about Yu Yu Hakusho is there's no filler, so you don't even have to say, "Oh, we got to trim this out." There, if anything, they might spend a little bit more time, giving further background to things,
Sure.
which is
Yeah.
always nice.
Yeah.
But I think it would be serviceable, especially that there was an OVA that came out about the last couple
Yeah.
of chapters
You
a few
remember
years
that?
back, and it looked
Yeah.
so
It
good.
looked incredible.
I wanted the whole show like that. I really
Yeah.
did.
I don't know. I mean, I would welcome it. I think if it is like if there is a way for it to happen, I think the time is probably recent. So I mean, if there was any way of like a production team getting its hands on it and allowing to like redo it, I think the time would definitely be now. But I'm not like looking for it. It's kind of like what I spoke to you about a few weeks ago, Mills, with like seeing Dragon Ball redone. And then you sent me like the intro to the movie, and I saw like some new animated. I just thought it looked beautiful just off nostalgia, but I don't know if we need it.
That's true.
I know, but I would welcome it with open arms. Obviously. Plus, something this refined is not going to like. They're not going to ruin it or anything. It's not. It's like it's the last thing in my mind for it to get messed up. So if they decide to do it, sure, yeah, just add a few things. You don't have to take anything out.
I got one last game that I want to play with everybody here.
Let's go.
It's called Hunter x Hunter or Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh man,
it's not going to be a very fun game for me.
Oh,
all right, first question: Yusuke or Gon?
Gon.
Yusuke.
Damn, I am the deciding vote in all of this. I'm gonna go with Yusuke.
Yeah,
I feel like
Yusuke's not a crybaby.
I feel like Gon is kind of a flawed character.
Gon is Yusuke's son. He's supposed to be.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He is flawed.
He's flawed. Not in terms of like the way he developed, but just like
no, he's flawed as a person.
Yes, as a person.
He's very fucked up. Yeah,
it would be great to touch on that in some kind of way. Where Killua just shakes him and just like, yo, nigga, chill out.
I have some theories about that. Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. Let me make sure I get this arc right. Actually, let's do this. How about this? Kurama or what's my guy? Kurapika.
Oh man, that's really tough. I actually think I feel like they're very like they both have reasons.
Yeah.
Like oh man, I'm not voting against Kurapika.
I have to go with Kurapika only because the backstory,
the best development.
Yes,
absolutely. Hunter, easy.
And Kurama's entire deal is, I've got Yoko in me, and I'm worried about my mom. It doesn't go any further than that.
Yeah. For real. To be fair, though, to be fair to Yu, Kurapika's story is literally still unfolding. So but yeah.
York New City arc or the Dark Tournament arc?
Oh, god damn it.
Come on, man.
These are hard decisions we got to make. Blame Togashi, man. This is a Togashi special. This is
I'm gonna be real with you. It would have been a harder choice for me if you had put like the Chimera Ant arc against it.
I have to say Dark Tournament.
Yeah.
I think York New sets everything up, in like a very beautiful way. But Dark Tournament is the greatest tournament in anime history.
Motherfucking right.
So I can't vote against it. I just can't.
Okay, I'll say it's tied with the 23.
All right, look at you. There he is.
Okay, I'm sorry. Listen, bro.
I was waiting for it. I tried to feed it to you a little bit.
Piccolo, that just goes too hard for me, man. I can't. It's tied. It's tied.
It's cool, man. It's cool.
Oh God. Okay. That was great. Hold on. Let me try to. I'm finding something else. I just want to make sure I'm doing this. I'm just letting you know. This is all off the top of my head.
That makes it better.
Let's see. Okay. Hold on. Killua or Hiei?
Yeah, honestly, like, there's my dog's name is Killua, bruh. Like, I'm not. Killua is probably my favorite Hunter x Hunter character outside of Meruem, so like, yeah, I get going either way. I do, but I love Kill.
It's Hiei for me. Hiei was my nickname in high school, man.
Hey, man. I can't hate on it. I can't hate. There's no way.
Listen, all right.
I can't believe this one man created all these incredible characters. So
For real.
I really can't believe it. It's incredible.
Would you rather have spirit energy or Nen?
Nen.
Spirit energy, because at least I understand how that shit works.
Hey, bro, you can do anything with Nen, my nigga.
Nah, Nen is too complicated for me, bro. Like
Nen
I
me.
can't. And what Nen would you have, bro?
I would be a specialist more than likely.
Interesting. Okay. And spirit energy. Anything that you've seen spirit energy wise that caught your eye, Jay?
Oh
Spirit
man,
sword, spirit gun. Spirit gun is iconic, by the way. I
Yeah,
know
Spirit
that.
Gun, you can't break that down.
yeah,
Fire.
the spirit wave when he uses it in the dark tournament.
Yeah, boy.
Man, listen, or the way the Sensui uses spirit energy. That shit went hard.
Absolutely. We'll get to
Yeah.
that soon. Final question I got here. The ending of Hunter x Hunter anime or the ending of Yu Yu Hakusho's anime?
I mean, I'm gonna go Yu Yu.
Yeah, because at least that's a complete ending.
Yeah. Hunter x Hunter's not over, so you know.
I mean, you meet this
It's not
dead.
over. Not over.
Okay. You know what? We'll leave it there. Hunter x Hunter, Yu Yu Hakusho, all Togashi. This is a
Shout out
Togashi.
Togashi, man.
He's a thing. First of all,
God
thank you.
bless.
Bless him, bro. Man.
Thank you, Jay, for coming through.
More than
talking
glad
Yu
to
Yu
be here, dog.
Hakusho,
Oh,
adding a lot of context, saving my ass in various moments
love
throughout
it.
this episode.
That's
Thank
what I'm
you.
here for, dog.
Listen, because the show is still pretty fresh to me. The first time I watched the show was in 2020 during the pandemic, and I live tweeted it, and I had a great time doing it because I had so many questions and I had so many experiences, and I didn't know how many people actually like watched this show.
Mm-hmm. It's older. Yeah.
Yeah. So but during the time, and there was a big response in terms of people just like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you're watching this for the first time. I'm so jealous," because. Yeah, I mean, watching it for the first time as an adult was very
Isn't that
inexperienced.
great, man? The community.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're like, oh, you're just watching this? You just heard this album? You're fucking lame. Instead, it's like, wow, I wish I could watch it for the first time again.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so special. Yeah.
That was amazing. So it was quite a journey getting through this entire thing, but nonetheless, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'll place this in one of my top 10 animes, despite all the inconsistencies with various different things. I think just the general premise of this show, and we'll get into more of it as we go on through, the episodes and stuff like that. Maybe we'll do it next summer. Maybe we'll do it, earlier than that. Who knows? But I think just the overall spirit of this show is pretty, it's a great show.
It is.
A show about friends, a show about the lyric says it.
You know it.
Myself, damn self. One of the greatest OPs of all time, man. Of course, once again, thank you, Jay. You can listen to him, Subsly, Dubsly, every week on the Lookout, network. As we're doing this, so this week, this is, of course, this will be coming out the week. So the next two movies you just did, Tree of Might and
and Lord Slug.
Lord Slug. There we go. So the next two movies that will drop, I guess, tomorrow after this episode. So we're gonna date this episode. Well, what's the next two movies that you're doing?
Cooler's Revenge and the Return of Cooler, man. Cooler double pack.
Wow, double pack Cooler.
Yeah, man. I'm really excited.
Hey, man, bring Cooler back, man.
I'm saying.
Fuck it. Might as well, nigga.
I'm saying. I mean, with everybody else they have around, Cooler's the easiest character to canonize.
He is. Because it works.
That's very true. That's very, very true. So you have that to look forward to on Subslide Dubslide this week. You also get a brand new episode of the Big Eyes podcast. I believe I want to make sure I get this right. So this is going to be all right. So they will be covering.
Is it this one?
It's Bakuman. They're going Death Note manga masterpiece Bakuman this week. So you guys, definitely check out that episode as well. I felt like I had a final thing to say, but I don't remember what I had. Oh, next episode that we're doing, guys. What's the next episode of the Summer at Kame House? That's a good ass question. The next episode will be, I'm going to look for it to make sure, but I'm almost sure I know what it is already. The next episode will be Odd Taxi.
All right,
It's my
Max.
pick.
I'm ready for that one. I
That's
can't
Meelz'
wait to
pick.
listen to
Let's
that.
get
It's
to it.
my pick. It's my pick. I can't wait to get into it. I can't wait to talk about it. I can't wait to break this fully down and get into the nooks and crannies of Odd Taxi. So make sure you guys watch this. It's a very short series, a very enjoyable series. So make sure it's all dubbed now. You can kind of watch it all in
It's
one run.
perfect.
It's
It is.
it's
perfect.
perfect.
It's perfect.
So yeah, we have that to look forward to at the summer at Kame House. We're gonna continue rolling as we continue rolling. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next
Yeah.
time.